Hey everybody, this is Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. This is the show where we talk about leadership according to the world that matters to you. And I want to talk to you today about real-time learning. We are constantly in situations where we are learning. We are constantly learning about ourselves, about people, about our craft, about our market, about our customer on a regular basis. And learning is an ongoing thing. It constantly happens. Now, what do you do when you're in the moment and you are challenged to learn real time? That means that you didn't have time to prepare. You didn't have time to get your thoughts together, to think about what your answer should be, how you should respond, or even to guess what the person on the other side of the table is going to do or say in the event of fill in the blank. Well, this is where real-time learning comes into play. As leaders, you're constantly at odds with the potential of learning something real time that you did not know before you walked into a meeting or a situation. And you're going to have to figure out the solution in the moment because you're going to have to learn in the moment, which is real-time learning. Now, here are some thoughts that could possibly help you to deal with real-time learning. Number one, engage in targeted listening. Now, targeted listening is the idea of listening for clues based upon the information that's being provided to you in the moment. Now, if you're in a conversation with someone and they're sharing something with you in the moment that you haven't heard before, which typically happens when you walk into a meeting, you have to now listen for buzzwords, for keywords, for phrases that indicates what your next steps should be. Okay? Now, these buzzwords vary. There's nothing that I can share with you on this podcast that indicates what those buzzwords are. But based upon the conversation you're having, you're looking for clues that can help you figure out what step to take next based upon the content of the conversation and the context of the conversation. Okay, this is what targeted listening is. Now, that does mean you may be sacrificing good listening practices and habits because you're listening for targeted keywords. I say that because target keywords is almost like doing a control find on your PC or on your tablet where you're looking for specific words within a document or in a web page. That means when you're doing a specific word search, you're bypassing everything else that's written on the page, okay, or written on the screen. The same thing happens with targeted listening. You're listening, but you're not listening. You're listening for certain things that gives you the okay to move forward, the okay to take the next step, or the specific word that would say, this is something I need to pursue. Okay? So just know that if you engage in target listening, you might sacrifice quality listening habits. But we're talking about learning in real time, so this may be useful. Now, after you engage in targeted listening, you need to process what you have heard once you found the keywords or the buzzwords that you were searching for. Okay? Once you get the confirmation that, yes, my thoughts were correct, or yes, I need to move forward, or maybe you get the confirmation that I need to pull back or make adjustments in my expectations. Now what? And this is the purpose of processing. During the processing time, you are taking a moment to strategize how to produce or move forward in your next step, whether it's an attraction or detraction to the situation. Okay, it's all about strategy at this point. And in that moment that you're processing, you won't have a lot of time to do this, maybe seconds. What you are actually doing is visualizing the next steps. Imagine when you play a game of chess or Mancala, one of my favorite games. You play the game in your head real time, way before you actually take the actions to produce your next step. And when you play the game mentally, you're not only strategizing or visualizing your next move or moves, you're visualizing the potential responses your opponent will have to your variation of moves that you're planning. Okay, so you're playing offense and defense to determine what the best offense is actually going to be in the next moment you take your turn. This type of thinking has to be applied to dealing with learning in real time, because as you learn, you're going to become much more smarter, right? And you're also going to get confirmation to whether to move forward, stay put, go left, go right, or leave. And you won't be able to determine the appropriate strategy if you are not processing real time. So you want to play chess or Mancala in your mind when you get information after you've done targeted listening. Now, as you are processing and coming to a close with your strategy on how to move forward, the third step is to execute. Execute based upon the decision that you are going to make. Execute based upon the best outcome for what you just heard and what you're dealing with in real time. Okay? You need to make it a reality. Now, when you execute, you may make a mistake. You may have made the wrong decision. But again, even if you made the wrong decision, this is still an exercise in real-time learning. And let me just say this, even if you made the right decision, you will discover or uncover information that you still didn't know even after you made the right decision. So either way, good or bad decision, you're going to have to reset these steps to deal with real-time learning. I made a good decision, bad decision. Now I got to listen again for targeted clues. I got to process what's happening, and I got to re-execute as I move forward in the conversation, as I move forward in the engagement with this person, as we're dealing with our relationship, etc. Right? Trying to move forward, real-time learning happenings. And now here's the fourth and final step when I think about real-time learning. You're listening for target words, you're strategizing, you're processing, you're executing. Okay. Lastly, you want to learn. Learn from what you just went through. Learn from the entire exercise of listening, processing, and executing. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the person that you're meeting with, the person you're talking to, the people that are engaged in this process with you? What did you learn about the context? What did you learn about the content? What did you learn about the experience in and of itself? All of these clues help you improve your real-time learning habits and capacity. So as you continue to find new real-time learning opportunities, as real-time learning opportunities uncover themselves and you discover them, you now repeat the process in order to get to a targeted outcome, which is to learn. This is Dr. William Clark for Leadership Conversations. We'll see you at the next show. Peace.